What is up, you guys? Welcome back to Me TV Reviews. I am your host, Mo, and tonight, y'all, we are doing something new. Now, this show came out, probably about 2 months ago? And y'all, I had so many shows on my plate, I was like, okay, when I get the time, I'm gonna do it. Now I have the time, y'all. A couple of slots done been empty, so we're gonna slide this one right on in. Tonight we're gonna be discussing Agatha All Along. This is season 1, episode 1, titled Seekest Thou the Road. I hope y'all have been having a wonderful week, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. This week been shaky. It's been shaky as crap, y'all, but we gonna be all right, okay? So without further ado, let's go ahead, get into the synopsis real quick, and then we're going to get right into the episode. So the synopsis for this one is: a murder shakes up the small town of Westview and turns the life of Inspector Agnes upside down. However, Agnes finds her life starting to fall apart when a strange boy asks for her help. Y'all don't know how badly I wanted to break out in song with Inspector Gadget. Okay. Oh, growing up in the 90s, y'all, I'm telling y'all, it was a time, y'all. So we begin the episode with our main character, Agnes. She's driving to this crime scene where a woman has been discovered in the middle of nowhere in the woods, right? So upon arriving, she's caught up to speed by her neighbor, Herb, who is also on the force, okay? He's one of the boys in blue as well. So he tells her that Jane Doe didn't have any type of ID on her, just a library card from the local town, Westview, right? So apparently Jane Doe died from this blunt force trauma by something big, but it couldn't have happened here because as she looks around the crime scene, there's no impressions by either foot or by tire. It's almost as if Jane Doe just dropped here out of the sky. She just landed here. We don't even know how this happened. So she ends up finding like this little silver brooch. It looked like a little silver chip just in the water, not too far away from Jane Doe. And it's got some sort of emblem on it, okay? But she doesn't mention it to Herb. Now, when they roll her, Agnes notices that she had this really dark appearance on her fingertips and on her feet, okay? And I was like, damn, okay, maybe it's just like dirty feet because she out there. But if she just landed there, she wouldn't have been running through, right? So how would her feet and her fingers get dirty like this? Anywho, because she didn't have on no shoes too, y'all. So, anywho, as she sees this, Agnes seems to get very emotionally unsettled by this whole thing. But when Herb tries to check on her, she gives him like this very snarky response and tells him to let her know when all of the test results are done and the dental lab work comes back. Now, if Agnes seems a little disgruntled and agitated, it's because she's been called out of punishment by her boss, because apparently she's the only one that could really help solve this case and move this case along. Those are his words, not hers, okay? But she has committed some type of crime that I'm not privy to just yet, and it landed her on the wrong side of the law. Now, I'm going to give y'all a disclaimer because I did not watch WandaVision, but I heard that she is kind of like a spinoff to that. She was a character or something like that on there, so I don't know about any of that, y'all, okay? So whatever she did, if it was on WandaVision, I have no knowledge of it. Okay, so she ends up going to the library to try to put a name to the book because remember they found a library card, but unfortunately for her, there's two problems with this. The first one being that Miss Dottie, the librarian who worked the front desk, y'all, she loves to give Agnes a hard time because she informs her that they don't do literal paper trails anymore. That's played out. Don't nobody do that no more. And the second one is the book that was stolen 3 years ago. The book was stolen 3 years ago, y'all, okay? But she tells her that there are more copies in its section in this one particular part of the library. So she goes back there. But when she gets there, y'all, that whole portion, all of the books, the extra copies, are in ashes. There was a fire, whispers this creepy ass mafioso version of Adrian Monk. And if you're not familiar with Adrian Monk and Mr. Monk, get familiar. You will love it, okay? Anywho, he whispers that from the aisle over because he can see her through the books. And so she was like, there are no more copies. And he was like, no, every last copy was burned to bits. And with that, y'all, he walk off. Are you going to check out some books? Mr. Monk. Y'all, he was creepy. So she ends up going into the office the next morning, right? And so she goes to her actual office within the precinct, and she's greeted by her chief, and he's trying to talk to her about the updates on this case. And she's like, oh, hey, you got a stain. You got a stain on your shirt. You got a stain on your tie. So when she gets done trying to tell him what all he's got going on with him that's wrong, he ends up telling her what she already knew about the dirt being different on Jane Doe's fingertips. Up under her fingers and her feet. That dirt was completely different from the dirt that they found her in, which we knew that. However, the dirt that she had on her body is like some type of Italian dirt. And so insert Special Agent Vidal. Okay. And she's with the F, the B, and the I. And so she's here to help Agatha, which is not, it does not go over well with her. She doesn't want anybody to help her with this. But I mean, if she comes along, she could help us get the resources that we wouldn't normally have available to us. She's going to help us move this process along so much faster. And he's trying to give off all of these different ways that this is going to work in their advantage. And Agatha was like, eat my ass. Her words, not mine, y'all. That's what she said to him. So he was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to let y'all deal with that. Okay, I'm out of here. So he ends up leaving. And Special Agent Vidal is wanting to know what Agnes is thinking about all of this. And so she was like, well, we figured she was transported there. And she was like, yeah, okay. I see you half-heartedly believe that, because there aren't any type of prints. No footprints, no tire prints, no none of that. So let's come up with something else. And so then, what did she say? She said something else, y'all. And Agatha looked at her and she was like, well, you top dog because you done been here your whole life. Ain't that right? And Agatha was like, yeah, no, I don't like you. I don't want you here. So can you please leave? So she ended up leaving, right? So then Agnes ends up going to, she goes to the pawn shop. And when she gets there, she shows the guy working the counter the thing that she found in the water, which it turned out to be this brooch, right? And so it's got this cute little picture of 3 women on there. And he said it was made in the late 17th century. Gave some more cool little facts about it. I didn't really care too much about all that, listening. So he was telling her the fun facts, and then he ended up opening it up, and Agnes sees this. It looks like a little tiny sample of hair, like it's like somebody like cut a snippet of hair and just kind of like taped it down in there. And so he ended up asking her what did she want for it, and she was like, oh no, she asked him how much it would go for, how much he would buy it for, and he was like, maybe $200. And she was like, great, now I know where to start when I sell it on eBay. She leave out. So then she goes back to the office, right, and she's working on this case, and she's so confused. And so the book that Miss Dottie had told her about, she had wrote it down, right, and so she underlined each letter in the title of the book. And she ended up spelling out, like, starting to spell dark and then H. And then just then her chief comes in and was like, hey, you need to go home. And she was like, but I am home. Y'all, he turned them lights on her so fast. Go home, Agnes. Go home. She just want to do her best at her job, okay? You can't fault the lady for that. So when she gets home, she is looking so defeated, y'all. And she's getting ready to relax, and she's walking down the hallway, and at the end of said hallway is a bedroom. The door is halfway cracked, and she kind of peeks inside. and we see that this room belongs to a child that was hers by the name of Nikki. So I looked that part up because I don't know too much about this. My friend probably know way more about this than I do, okay? But her son's name, the whole name was Nicholas Scratch. Now that sounded familiar, so I Googled it a little bit, and turns out, child, Nikki was her son, and of course he is a supervillain, and he appears in some of the other comic books. Okay. He's also a warlock, and he's the father of the Salem 7. So we'll see. Okay. And I think he's a foe of Wanda. Anywho, so she's looking even more depressed after going in his room or peeking in there when there's a knock at the door. So she goes to answer the door, and it's Special Agent Vidal. She's got pizza and beer. Oh man, this is gonna be a night. So she's sitting there, and they're talking and laughing, and she's saying how if you are a working woman with a possible career, it is impossible for you to be actually happy and be successful in your career. And so they're talking, and Agatha is thinking that she came over to talk about the case. And so she was like, that ain't really what I came over for, but okay, go ahead and lay it on me, girl. So Agatha says, I keep calling her Agnes. That's who she is, but right now she's going by Agnes. So Agnes is saying that she believes that there are two crimes that are related. So earlier in the night, or an hour before she got the call about the Jane Doe, there was an accident that was reported. And so when she got there, the airbags had been deployed, and there was blood in the back seat. And so they figured that this is probably how she got from one place to the other, but still that doesn't account for the missing prints surrounding her body. And so she's like, I feel like they're connected, but I also feel like I'm missing something that's very important. It's just not sticking the way that it's supposed to stick. And so Special Agent Vidal leans in a little bit, and I was like, what is going on here? Do y'all got some fever towards each other? Now Agnes is starting to feel a little awkward. Officer Vidal, she seems like she would be one to take control. Okay. So anywho, she leans in, and she was like, do you remember why you hate me so much? And Agnes looks confused. She genuinely looks confused, and she says, no, I don't. And so she was like, are you hiding evidence? No, I'm not. Are you lying to me? No, I'm not. So just then, y'all, she hears something upstairs. Somebody done tried to break into the house. So they do this chase scene that lasts for a good minute. And eventually, y'all, the little boy, the teenager, he ends up getting hit by this oncoming car. This little old lady talking about, he just came out of nowhere. And y'all, he laying on the ground looking like a teenage Sub-Zero. Okay, she pulled the mask down, and she don't know who he is. But hey, you awake? You good? Okay, I'm gonna need for you to be fully aware, because I'm finna get ready to arrest your behind. So she take him in, and she's asking him, why me? Why are you breaking into my house? And he basically called her a disgrace. You are a disgraced detective to the precinct, ma'am. Nobody respects you. Again, I need to figure out the backstory to that part, okay? But obviously, he doesn't respect her. He knows all about her. And so she was like, what were you after at my house? And so he was like, I was trying to find the road. And she was like, what? You out of all people should know the road. And so then she ends up looking at his hands. Y'all, he's got that same dark ink, right, on his tips. And so, again, she was looking real curious when he mentioned this road. She has no idea what he's talking about, right? And so then she switches gears after she notices this ink on his hands, and she starts to question him because she thinks that he's got something to do with that accident and the Jane Doe. And so she ends up throwing these pictures at him and was like, where were you at this time between 1 and 3 early this morning? He was like, I was asleep. And so she was like, are you really asleep? Are you just a really bad liar? We finna find out either way. So then she starts to question him about knowing who she is, who this Jane Doe is. And he was like, girl, what are you talking about? It's only flowers on the damn table. And so she looked down at it's flowers. It's pictures of flowers. Pretty ones at that. And so then she turned around and she looked at the two-way mirror because Special Agent Vidal is supposed to be back there. She gone. And so then she turned back around. He's like, why you keep looking at that painting? And then when it comes back to her, y'all, it is a painting. She's looking dead at a painting. So then she looks at him and he starts doing all this chanting, y'all. You finna spend the night in lockup while I try to get my head together. Okay, she don't know what's going on. So she goes to the coroner's office because maybe her mind is playing tricks on her. When she get there, y'all, she goes over the description of the Jane Doe that she saw. And the last words that she remembers of the hair color is scarlet, which matches the Jane Doe underneath. Now, when she gets close up on the Jane Doe, she sees the library card as the toe tag. All right, so when she pulls at the library card, a name magically appears. And I think it's W. Maximoff. And so then she turns around because she's like, what the hell is going on? She runs into Special Agent Vidal. Again, how did you know I was here, ma'am? So she was like, you know what? That's who you thought it was, okay? And then it's starting to make sense now about the whole 3-year gap, right? So she tells her that she's locked in, she's been spellbound. She's been locked in this particular world for the last couple of years, but you know what? You can figure out a way to claw out if you just try your best. So, y'all, she starts stripping off these layers of clothes and she's transforming herself. And I don't know if these are like which identities from the past or what, y'all. She's been living for a long time if those are her past identities. She had like 6 different layers of clothes. So by the time she get done stripping down, we truly see Agatha and who she is. Now, them curls is popping. I must say that. Them curls is popping. She is really ashen gray. So, she was like, girl, let it out, girl. And she was like, ah! She took her clothes off again. So then, the next morning, she wakes up, right? And she is stuck in this damn place again. Okay, but this time she actually like is herself with this long hair, right? And so she's frustrated because she's still stuck. I'm thinking maybe she thought that she was gonna be able to get out this time. So y'all, she step outside and go over to her neighbor, her completely naked. The only thing that's covered up is her boobs by her hair. And so he was like, whoa, hold on, little lady. Can you please put some clothes on? And she was like, how long have I been in this awful place? This cesspool of a place? You've been here for 3 years, ma'am. Now, normally you be acting like yourself, but for the last couple of months, honey, you've been on this true crime, this true crime thing, okay? You've been real infatuated with true crime. So, you likened yourself to a detective. That's where Detective Agnes came from. And so he was like, yeah, we've been trying to help you. Everybody been concerned about you, but I mean, we just go ahead and let you roll with your fantasy for now. I mean, what else do you want us to do? And so then she look around and she spots the chief and librarian Dottie covering up the eyes of they daughter. And then she spots the jeweler running down the block, and y'all, he quickly turned around and run the other way. And so she's pissed because, like I said, she's still trapped. She got to figure out how in the hell to get up out of here. He did mention something about her still having power. And so then when she went back inside, y'all, she went downstairs to the basement. And she tried to see if she had some power before she went down to the basement, but she didn't. So when she went down there, there's nothing down there but like a washer, dryer, your typical stuff that you would have in your basement. So then she finds her bunny. And she was like, yeah, this trick done stripped me of my power. She done stripped me of everything and just left me with these damn appliances. What am I going to do? I got to figure out a way to get back on top, y'all. So then she hears something upstairs, right? She goes to the closet. Why is the young teenager, the thief, why is he in the closet duct taped? And so she was like, oh, I guess you were a part of the real life. Well, if you real, then that means whoosh. And y'all, here comes Special Agent, I don't forgot her name. V. Y'all, V come knocking stuff over. She breaking wood and she done messed up that lady whole house. Do you know how long it's gonna take her to clean that up? So y'all, V come up in there and they start fighting, right? So now she trying to kill Agatha. And so Agatha keep her from stabbing her with this blade, right? This curved blade. Or this dagger. Like a dagger. Anyway, so she grabs the dagger, right? And she starts to bleed. And she was like, oh, okay. So you're able to experience pain. It was like, it kind of tickled, don't it? So then we find out that Agatha has been hiding behind all of these different layers of the dark hold, which means nobody has been able to get to her until now. So maybe that's what all them other identities was. Maybe she put up all them different identities and that represents the dark hold. Like I said, y'all, I've never seen this part of the Disney realm, Marvel realm up until now. Okay. So if y'all know and want to fill your girl in, please fill me in. I'm just here watching this blindly because I enjoy stuff like this. So anyway, they fighting, right? And she said, man, you know, it done took us centuries to try to find you. And now that we got you, I'm finna go ahead and knock you out. So technically, y'all, she can torture her or whatever she want to do to her, but they can't kill each other because both of them are witches, right? So she can't kill her, but she was like, I'm gonna make you wish that you was dead. And so she was like, hold on, wait, I said, you don't want to do this. You really don't want to do this right now, not without me having my powers, right? I mean, what type of bragging rights is them? You gonna try to knock off a defenseless person? Why don't you just wait until I get my purple back? Now, I'm assuming that the purple means the power, okay? Because when she stripped off all this stuff, y'all, she was great, remember? So I'm assuming that when she get her purple, she gonna get her color back, which represents this power. So she was like, wait until I get my purple back, and then we can resume this fight. Why don't you do that? And she was like, girl, I really want to see you in the coffin. That's what I really want to do, okay? But I'm gonna hold off. But don't act like I ain't gonna tell the people where you at. And she was like, yeah, about that. What people? What are you talking about? And she said, oh, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and tell the Salem 7 where you are. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Ain't that Nicholas Scratch people? What's going on here? Y'all, I need backstory. Can somebody please help me? Please. I need a little bit of context. So she was like, okay. And she was like, you know, me watching you finally get what you deserve, whether that be by burning at the stakes, hanging, or by drowning. Oh, I'm going to take so much pleasure in that. I'm sure they'll be here by nightfall. And just like that, y'all, she's gone. Y'all, Agatha is in trouble. Now, she hears some more noise because old boy was like, hey, what about me? Ah, yeah, what about you? You still here, huh? So I guess she's going to try to figure out what he meant by the road. And that's the way the episode is, y'all. It was cute. I like this introduction. Y'all, okay, so it kind of reminded me of me stepping out of the box to do She-Hulk, okay? Now, I like the witchy stuff, but I'm more of a Coven American Horror Story type of girl, okay? But this got some mystery to it, too. I like the little witchy stuff. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it, okay? You can reach me at Me and You TV Reviews on Facebook and on Instagram. You can also reach me at My TV Reviews Podcast without the S on the end at gmail.com. Y'all, if y'all want to go on YouTube, because I'm there too, Me and You TV Reviews, okay? And just the opposite for the YouTubers. Come on over to the podcast. Come over to the dark side. I'm everywhere streaming. Okay. So, anywho, that's that. For the new people, thank you guys for coming in. Thank you so much for leaving comments on YouTube. I know there are far and few, y'all, but they starting to come in, which I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I try to get back to y'all as quick as I can. I got a full-time job, y'all. I got a couple of jobs, okay? And I got kids running around. So I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. I am going to drop Grotesquerie episode 3 simply because one of the people on YouTube wanted to actually watch the video versus just like listening to it over here. Y'all done listened to it already over here. So if you get bored and you want to go over there to YouTube, you know, while you cleaning up or whatever, I'm there too. Okay. I love y'all. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all for coming back because you don't have to. And that's all I have. So until we meet over the airwaves again, y'all, I am Mo, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.